No.
It's gonna be lit.
You can hear?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Rosie, it's gonna be fucking lit.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, start, but I'm gonna be taking my stuff.
Why would you fucking do that? We just started. I hit the start button.
Just start it.
I
Just start it.
Just start it.
Welcome to the Itch Network podcast, the first one of the decade. Oh my god, I still put 20. Oh shit. I'm not used to changing the year. Hold on.
It's gonna be weird when I go back to work. Like 2020.
Done. Okay. It's the first podcast of the decade for anybody. There's no other podcast that's even started even remotely. It's just ours. And we're here with the Itch Network with the boys. We got JD. We got Eric off camera eating some kind of hamburger, which looks delicious. And we got Rosie.
Why are they called hamburgers?
We got Rosie, who literally tilted in his chair the moment I started recording and said, I gotta go!
This is you gotta start the podcast right, and that's how you do it.
Yeah.
Freaking.
You absolutely killed it. That was wonderful.
You're welcome.
Hopefully everybody had a happy New Year's.
I mean, you would know, Spence.
It was cool.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
You know how we've spent hours
Oh, God.
in the bed.
Well, that's wonderful. Today we've got a jam-packed episode. We've got the best of 2019. We've got the best of the decade. And maybe even the worst if we want to get to that. I don't know if we will. But we could also throw in that. We've got Mandalorian and probably regular Star Wars if anybody else has seen it. Anybody seen it?
I didn't see it yet.
Oh,
But
Eric saw it. He and I can talk
movie?
about it. And we got some Twitter drama from Mike Matei to get the year started. It's always
For your
fun.
mama.
But before we get into any of that, Eric, because I'm an asshole, what games have you been playing?
Skip. Wait till he eats.
I just finished chewing that last bite.
He just finished his hamburger.
No, just
No,
a bite.
he
I still
didn't.
got the rest.
Oh.
And the whole other one.
He's got two.
I downloaded Witcher 3.
Is it because you saw the show?
Yeah.
You know, there were a lot of concurrent viewers. They're not players after
That's what I heard.
it was streamed.
Yeah.
I already own the game though, off of one of the PlayStation Plus like free games thing.
It's a good game.
So I didn't have to spend any money on it. I would not have spent money on it.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, they said that this is like the most people playing this game just in general right now. So
Well,
Fucker.
good for CD Projekt Red.
CD Projekt Dead, more like.
Yeah. Other than that, mainly just been listening to podcasts and making D&D characters and painting some and watched a little bit of anime. I have a lot. I have like a month worth of anime to catch up on.
I actually want to know.
JD, what have you been?
You literally just broke Spencer. Go on, JD.
Broke him so bad that he's speaking in third person. So I finished Star Wars.
Fallen Order?
Fallen Order, yeah. I finished Mandalorian because Eric pretty much threatened me. He goes, we're going to talk about it. If you don't finish it, we're still going to spoil it. I was like, okay, all right. Let me go get this.
By the way, spoilers for the entire show.
Yeah.
Putting that out there.
Well, don't do Star Wars, so I still want to see it.
Dude, come on. You're killing me, Smalls.
Can't I live my own life? Chill. God, not everyone needs to see it on Thursday at 7:00. I know you saw it a little bit later, but still, give me a minute.
I saw it a whole
week
10
later.
days later.
Yeah, so
give
did
me some
I.
time.
Okay, we got to wait for JD. We'll do that next week.
Get off my DAC. All right. Anyway, finished that. I was playing. I could have sworn something else I was playing. I've been weird. I've been using some of the gift cards that I've received. I bought Control. I haven't played it yet. Titanfall was still free for this month, so I downloaded that. And then I got a really weird game that I got off of Impulse because Spencer said something about it.
What?
Is it Death Stranding?
Is it Disco Elysium?
It's Disco Elysium.
Sick, dude. I want to.
I just got it on Impulse, and I
Dude,
was like, fuck it.
You should play that immediately. I want to know how good that game is.
Yeah, I used the your Christmas gift to get it. So.
The most creative Christmas gift of all time.
There you go.
I didn't even know if you had an account, but I assumed you did.
I mean, I've only talked about it multiple times. You're the only person that doesn't have an account, which is weird to me, foreign even, but whatever.
What account of what?
Amazon.
Oh, what?
I have an
Spencer.
Amazon account. I just cut the Prime out because they bullshitted me on their video games.
Bullshit.
I'll get it
What?
again. I'll get it.
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, you gotta get it, man. It's
So,
worth it.
yeah, my time spent was Mandalorian. I watched The Witcher, I think, the previous week, but I was actually going to watch it again. We'll talk about why.
While I play it.
The tits and ass, obviously. And then there's something else. Oh, Max Payne. I'm towards the end of Max Payne, so I'm beating that right now.
Whew, busy boy.
And then next week,
Old Republic.
Old Republic. There you go.
Dude, I'm ready to get started any fucking day.
Shh, you say that, but you gotta commit. You gotta commit.
Absolutely, man.
So, but yeah, got that going on. Rosie, what have you been playing?
I have been playing. Well, we'll start with the positive before we go to negative. But I've been playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
I thought you were gonna start with the positives.
No, I mean, no. You know the weird thing is, I only play gunfight. I can't play I can't play regular team deathmatch.
Gunfight gets my blood freaking flowing, man.
Right? It's fun though, right? Like in a good way.
Gunfight.
Yeah. Gunfight's like the only mode I can actually play in that game without like just being completely bored or just like being BS.
For you guys that don't know, Gunfight is essentially
Reloaded?
That's 2v2.
Yeah.
And every two, it's best of 5, I think.
No, 6.
Eric, did you say
And
reloading?
Reloaded.
Oh, okay. I thought he's going to make the joke
Yeah.
that it was just about reloading your gun faster than everybody else.
I win.
Oh.
That's what it feels like sometimes, to be honest. But no, it's 2v2, best of 6, and every 2 rounds they change your weapons. So sometimes there's weapons that are garbage. Like you'll be in a larger map and they're like
Pistols! Yeah, pistols, but they have like freaking scopes on them. It's like the weirdest setups.
And
But
like the gulag or the prison showers and like give them sniper rifles. I'm like, I can't see shit. It's so close.
Right.
Like, what's the fucking point? So it's interesting.
It's fun because it's like one game modes in which you're on completely equal footing with your opponent. So it's just skill versus skill with whatever it's set up to give you. Love it. I've also been playing some Minecraft with my buddy. We're trying to finally get to the Ender Dragon. Go ahead, Spencer.
No
Go
worries.
ahead.
No worries.
Okay.
It's disappointing.
You just continue to be the least black person I've ever met.
I just went from Modern Warfare to Minecraft.
Yo, we gonna take out this Elder Dragon. We getting the boys together. We gonna
Yeah,
we gonna build our way up to it. Working on our bridge right now.
We're getting to the Nether. We got to get that Nether wart. You know that. Well, I'm not sure where this puts me on the spectrum, but the next game is obviously League of Legends, and I have been like pulling my hair playing that game.
We talked about it. We are going to switch to other accounts to play with you. So.
Is that what it? I don't know what it is. I can't.
If we play with other accounts that don't have as much experience, you won't get fucking shat on every game. Theoretically. I mean, you still got to get better, but you won't.
I know, but that's what's pissing me off about that game. It's like, all right, I've been watching guides and like, all right, watching guides, check. All right, how do I now go to the practice tool, just work on creep killing, but I don't know how to bully. I don't know matchups, so it's almost like even with all that information, it's just not enough for me to still be competitive because I feel like everyone's on such a higher level than me. Like not just like literally, but figuratively. Because I guess I don't. That's what I was thinking. Like maybe I should start over. Maybe I should make a new account just to
No.
Because like
you might need to just stick with a champion. I know we tried to push you around, but we're trying to get you to more champions that fit better.
Yeah, man. Like Shaco.
Not Shaco. Like
Shaco's good though.
Darius or something. He's good. He's gimmicky, and he's really not that good.
Oh, Shaco?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll keep playing.
You can be another dragon and be Shyvana.
Shyvana's fucking cool, but he's playing top. But you'll get there, Rose. You just gotta maybe stick with one. Volibear's fine. James likes to troll, so don't worry about that. If you want to play Volibear, you play the damn bear, and you electrocute people.
That's the thing about it. It's like, all right, that's the only champion I kind of have a good understanding of. That's why I want to play. I may play Alawi because it from what it looks like, it covers some of my weaknesses in that game, which is dealing with poke while being able to still kill creeps. In which I hope I can learn more about some of the game through that. There's just a lot of. I have so many questions, but not enough time in this podcast. Plus, we're not going to take over all this.
Cool.
Dear friend, Spencer.
What
have you been playing, buddy?
Thought you never asked, man. I have been playing League of Legends with you and James. And I've been playing Ocarina of Time on the 3DS. Getting ready for a little podcast with the Button Mappers, which is actually going to air sometime in February, so I guess I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but I wanted to make sure I beat it.
Have you never beaten it before?
I've beaten it twice on the N64, but I want to be fresh and understand it. I'm playing Dragon Quest XI again, but on the Switch.
Why?
Oh,
because it's fun.
It's a great game. Not to mention they added more content in that game. Right?
Yeah, there's extra stuff for each character, and there's even the weird 2D mode, which is, I don't know. It's all right, I guess.
Spencer, tell us the feature you really care about, though. Come on.
Is it the jiggle physics?
No, you get to marry one of the characters in that game.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, you know about that feature. Oh, yeah, that's actually one of the new features.
That's excellent. I know who I'm going straight for.
I know.
You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, buddy.
That little child.
Yeah. Damn it. I was like, no, don't go for low hanging fruit, man. Don't do it.
2020 started off with a bang.
Yeah,
hopefully, if all goes well.
The a child?
Yeah. Okay.
There's actually not a child. She's just a spell turned her into one. So she's actually of age.
Like a
Which is what I would tell the police. I'd say, look at her ID.
Yeah. Can't make this shut up. It's magic. It's magic.
They're pulling me away in the thing. It was a magic trick. I'm also technically playing the Outer Worlds, but I'm kind of bored with it. And we're playing a little Death Stranding. The GF. So,
how are you liking it?
Okay, I have not touched the controller, so I don't really have grounds on this.
Yeah.
But it looks like the most boring game of all time. We're only 2 hours in though, so whatever. We're gonna keep playing. We're gonna keep going.
Wasn't it like you had to get 6 hours into the game before
you had to get through the first area, which is really dependent on if you're doing the side quests or not. So I mean, the timing. He's actually really he's moving a little bit quicker.
Okay.
But yeah, it.
Once you get through the first 100-hour hump of that game, it really picks up. It becomes like a real thrill ride.
Just get out of the
You start
first
delivering
area.
2 packages.
Shut up! Just get out of the first area. You'll be fine. Here's the biggest reason why. When you get out of the first area, they give you an exoskeleton.
Oh.
So carrying shit gets so much easier because you can pretty much carry double the load you can now.
Wow.
And it allows you to sprint like MGS sprint.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's much better. And you can get motorcycles.
Yeah, I'll say that's
more efficient.
Pretty much. Get through the story.
You already knew you were a delivery man.
ET territory and not have to worry about them.
Rosie, I did not buy the game. Somebody else did.
Did you know anything about that?
I knew about it. I'm just saying what I see. It looks super bored, but and some of those cutscenes, some of those story elements seem like they were written by a little child who was pulling ideas out of the ground. Maybe it'll make more sense later. I'm sure it will.
Some of it does, but I can agree with you to the extent of like, what the fuck?
But it's like, what if there was a monster and it came out of the ink and like lifted a human body up in the air and was like, Wah! And it's like, oh my god. And this is in the first like if this was in the last like 20 hours of the game, it'd be kind of cool. It's in the first like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, like pacing, man. Like I know you're weird, but like pace yourself a little bit, dude.
You gotta smoke some shit to play that game and be every second of the way be like, oh my god, this represents the futility of human interaction. You know, like
it's like, yeah, but I haven't really moved my character yet. So.
yeah. All this guy says is you're the president of jack shit, and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Not
it's
really.
a little. It's like a lot for not doing anything.
Yeah, it's really campy at the beginning too. You're gonna hear some weird dialogue as it goes on.
But I'm sure it'll pick up. Just got to get those hours in.
Ugh.
No, it's
Golly.
funny. He retweets a lot of people who are like supporting the game, and these people like 80 hours in, I finally beat it. And I'm just like, not me.
Deliver the last package.
40 or bust, bitch. Like, if I go past that, I'm like, I'm taking a break from the game now. I haven't played it. You know? That's why I started playing like Star Wars and Max Payne and all that shit. Just because I'm like overload.
Spencer, or JD, is it really that bad? Like, or
It's
not bad, but
it's not
boring?
bad. So I don't think I told Sean this, but I didn't tell you this. So
Wow.
well, we were waiting for you to get back. I believe I have a phobia that I've only been discovering in playing the games, and that's the phobia of something chasing me. So
I think that's a human phobia.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I have that phobia.
it's like crippling. Like it prevents me from playing certain games.
Oh, okay.
Like Resident Evil 2, the only reason why I beat it was because my brother was in the room with me going through the same shit. Because Mr. X chases you up and down the Raccoon City Police Department. And it's just like, it's stressful. That's why I couldn't beat
And Mr. Y chases you left and right?
Real quick, are we talking about the remake or the original, man?
It's the remake.
See, I got a couple weeks. I'm
really
back on
chase
track
you.
with my jokes. I got them all night,
You've
baby.
always been off track.
Oh.
It was his 2020 goal.
Yeah, 2020 goal.
More
Ironically
like
enough,
silver.
with the name 2020, I think your jokes would be better. But
You think my jokes would be a little clearer?
so I get chased
Go ahead,
around
Jay.
a lot,
Yeah.
and it gets take that back.
No, it was a high five.
It's irritating when I'm getting chased and I realize it's really stressful. Death Stranding doesn't really have the same thing, but when you're going through the BT territory and you're just like pause there and your guy's like you can see him if you stand still. The BTs, these are the main guys, the ink dudes. You can see him if you stand still, but you pretty much have to like, and the guy's like triggering. He's like, "Oh, it's over there. What's over there?" And I always sweat a lot during those scenes, or if I'm getting chased. So that's also something that's preventing me from playing. Yeah. And that's exactly where I stopped. When they're like, "Oh, you got to go in this BT territory," I was like, "Fuck that."
Yeah, I'm gonna play Max Payne.
Well, actually, I started playing Devil May Cry first. I was like, "They won't chase me here."
How'd you deal with Sekiro?
With who?
Sekiro.
I know
The game.
Who in Sekiro?
I'm talking about they did a lot of chasing
Snake
in that
did,
game.
Actually, I showed you the snake, right?
Mhm.
I was sweating it.
Right,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. There's actually a few chase scenes in that game.
It's not like so bad with the snake.
How'd you get through Crash Bandicoot?
with the boulder.
Yeah, remember the boulders chasing you around?
This is why I don't tell Spencer shit. Fucking done telling you shit.
He's 3 for 3 right now. That's all I'm saying.
Anyway, yeah. So I don't. I'll eventually go back to Death Stranding. It's just more of the feeling when I'm going through the BT shit.
All right, let's move on from that. I know Eric really wants to talk about some shows. So there's 2 shows we really got to get into. because I think they both are complete, at least for season 1, right now.
Both 8 episodes.
The first is, let's talk about The Witcher, because I don't know anything about The Witcher.
Do you care? Are you gonna watch it? Rosie,
Maybe.
care?
I don't really know. It's up to the GF. I don't make any of that decision.
Why not?
Because I'm playing Dragon Quest when she's doing that shit.
Wait,
That's
can
how you
you?
get your game time in.
Yeah.
Now I understand.
And that's why
you
it's on
can
the
watch
Switch.
Whatever you want.
I needed a good RPG for the Switch.
You need a good distraction. Yeah, we'll watch that reality TV show you like.
So The Witcher.
Mad Men, yes.
Yeah, at least you're getting to watch something like that. I'm watching 90 Day Fiance.
Dude, I'm watching that too. I like that more than Mad Men. That's so great. Dude, because if you don't have to pay attention.
Oh,
You just
okay.
they're having a spat. You look up, like, oh, okay, cool. All right, we're doing a recap. Okay, back down.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's so funny how they double tap on that shit. Like they'll be angry and then they'll cut back to him and be like, I was upset. Like,
I gathered that.
So, Witcher.
Yeah.
I have not played any of the Witcher games. JD and Rosie, you guys have.
Correct.
Spencer,
I.
you have.
Well, I played Witcher
Okay.
3.
Okay. So from my perspective of knowing nothing about this, I thought that Henry Cavill did an amazing job. I really liked. Yeah, I really liked him throughout the entire series. The acting and characters and stuff in it, I thought they did great. The stories individually were great. How they edited everything together is what fucked my brain over. You notice, like, when you're just simple editing, if you're going forward in time, the screen transitions forward. If you go backwards in time, the transition moves backwards. The screen will move left or right depending on if it's going forward in time or backwards in time.
I did not know that.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Yeah. So if they do like a past thing, like they transition backwards, and sometimes they'll give it like a grayer tone, so because it's like an
sepia.
old memory.
that's Memento. They did that in Memento.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's simple techniques that can be done to kind of show you that this was in the past or this was in the future. Like if you look at like an old picture, like how like blurry or grained out it is or something like that, or the colors are not as vibrant, and the future is like super colorful and vibrant, or present time is very vibrant. Witcher doesn't do any of that. It just cuts scenes, and you're like, you have to wait for a few sentences or few moments of dialogue for someone to place or see a character that was like went on a journey away from everyone or is now dead or something like that. And you're like, oh, that person's alive now? That must have been 100 years ago when this happened, or this was 20 years ago when this happened. But they don't give you any cues. They don't do the bottom, the subtitles that say 19 or 1672 in so and so forth city.
Yeah.
They literally just jump back and forth.
There's
and
no establishing shot for the timeline.
Yeah.
At all.
So you have to get, like, it's not guessing because you figure it out, but you figure it out like five lines of dialogue in. You're like, oh, okay, wait, what? So if you're not paying attention, you're going to get lost. I actually thought that, so there was one night that I fell asleep watching it because I was just tired, not because it was bad. I have a history of falling asleep during everything.
I took a picture of you the other night.
Yep.
Did you?
You were passed out.
Yeah. That's probably the night that I downloaded Witcher.
Can't wait to play.
Yeah. But I fell asleep at one point and I woke up and I'm like, I feel like none of this makes sense. And I came in to talk to JD about it and I'm like, do they really expect me to read the books or like watch this much to understand what's going on? I found out that I'd slept through one entire episode. So I had to go back. But even after going back and figuring it out where I was, I still felt that feeling of, I feel like I've missed an episode. Like, I feel like there's pieces that I'm missing to this.
Right. So, the way I'm saying it, the first episode, and I could be wrong, that's why I was going to watch it again. The first episode has this opening where shit happens for like the first like 20 or 30 minutes. and then cut that out. And if you put that more towards the end, that's the end of. That's more or less towards the end of The Witcher.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
Why are you doing that? And then you have the scene where you do
Oh.
the Butcher Blaviken. That story is actually played out, but it's pretty much dropped after the end of the first episode, which is also kind of stupid because you've heard that name being used a lot too,
Yeah.
Spence and Rosie, I'm sure. They always call him the Butcher Blaviken, Geralt of Riviera, etc. The White Wolf, all that shit. But the Butcher Blaviken is one of his nomers, just because of that scene.
Which is cool as shit.
It is a good scene.
Yeah.
It's pretty well done. And then there's a scene where they're fighting the Jinn.
Yep.
And where Geralt can't sleep, and he runs into Dandelion, who's the bard.
Oh, okay.
I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you're right.
And he goes, "Oh, it's been so long since we talked," and I'm like, "Yeah, we're just talking in the last episode."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't know where that fits in the fucking timeline, but they literally do this all the time, and I don't know if I should be blaming Netflix or if I should be blaming the books, because the books are a series of short stories. So
Should be blaming Netflix.
maybe, but
See, I would be okay if these were presented as short episodes, or if they were being short stories. If these were presented as short stories, I'd be 100% and like, this is a great show, no reason not to see it. But because they portrayed it as one conducive,
concise, comprehensive, whatever,
one entire storyline,
yeah,
from beginning to end, this is one story. Because they presented it that way, I feel confused.
No.
There's a lot of things that happen that I still can't. I don't know if they had a reason to happen, or if they were just showing cool things.
Is it like a really, really long Pulp Fiction?
No. Think of it like a 10-hour long Memento. So even better, right? None of that shit makes sense. You're like, wait, hold on. How am I supposed to piece that together? Pretty much, I'm going to go on the wiki and try and piece it together. And then I'm going to rewatch it. But it's just like, it's one of those things where you're like, what the f-?
That's weird.
What's cool, though, what's cool is, I think...
All the titties.
But I
heard
think...
there's a lot.
There are a lot.
I saw like 50 pairs of boobs in like 2 episodes.
Yeah, there's literally an episode they walk into an orgy, and that's where Triss is in there. Yennefer meets Geralt, and she's literally naked by the end of that episode, screaming like a death metal queen. And she's like, roll! And she's fighting the Jinn. And it was just, I was like, okay, fuck it. But the other thing, too, is a lot of people got upset that haven't read the books. Yennefer starts off as a hunchback. So she looks like really bad on purpose. That's apparently the story. Again, haven't read the books, but I did watch this breakdown that they're like, this is how she was portrayed in the books. And then she becomes this like beautiful woman and all this other stuff. So they haven't gotten to the point where, which we hear about, with the memory loss and all that stuff. Like, because apparently that's where the books end. Is Geralt dies, and Yennefer dies too, or whatever the case is. But in the games, they they stay alive because it's branches off or whatever. They get attacked by a village of people, and I think she gets a pitchfork cut through her. He gets pissed off. He murders a whole bunch of everybody. But in the games, Geralt loses his memory because of some shit, but and Yennefer's missing, and Ciri's missing too. But then again, Ciri was also trained by Geralt, so I don't know how that timeline fucking works either.
It's okay. They'll find.
No, they won't.
I'm not supposed to spoil anything,
A lot of that
right?
shit. I mean,
Am I
well,
spoiling
Rosie, do you
things?
care? Probably.
Rosie's asleep again.
Yeah.
It always happens.
Or he's
like,
doing
when
that thing.
When I talk
He did-
just a minute too long.
He did do that. Say he's gonna do that thing in the middle.
Yeah, he
so he
did.
could be dead. He could be gone.
All I'll say is I like the cast. The cast is fun. The characters are fun. Actually, a lot of the dialogue is fun, and it's funny hearing Geralt say "fuck" a lot.
Fuck.
Yeah, all he says is just "fuck" when something bad happens, which is funny. And I don't know. I thought it was well done.
Yeah, I'll take that law. It's private. Blah. Fuck.
Yeah, it's actually it's fun. It's fun. It's a good romp. I'd recommend it, but I'd also have to put it with the subtext or the precautionary note that understand that this is gonna do this with the story, to just follow it or try your best to follow it.
I say take it as an individual, like, short story every episode, and then after you watch the episode, try to piece it together. Like, don't try and do it while you're watching it.
Yeah.
Because that, like, I literally paused and rewound a few scenes because I'm like, okay, so this person is still alive. So that means that this is going on. Like, I tried too many times doing things, and there's one specific thing that happens.
Oh, and the ending sucks.
Yeah.
Is it setting up the next one or it just sucks?
It
Setting up the
is,
next one,
but it's such a piss poor way of doing it.
Yeah.
That's okay.
But there's that the
Oh, great. They're trying not to spoil it. I don't care. We announced spoilers earlier. Wow, they're being so coy. It's impressive. Look at that. Still can't hear him. I don't know. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Sorry,
And that other
I don't know of any way of explaining that without like a huge spoiler.
Yeah.
Well,
I
to
mean,
our viewers that can lip read, they just got spoiled. So,
yeah, you'll be fine.
what do you think about that?
Can you lip read, Spence?
No.
Well, there you go. That's offensive.
Well, thank you, Eric.
But
Do you want to talk about another show?
yeah, let's hit the Mandalorian.
Oh, I was gonna. Okay.
Talk about Mad Men.
Let's talk about Mandalorian. No, not Mad Men. That show's whack. I think people overrate that show. I think it's not very good.
I don't even know what it is.
Donald.
Don't worry about it. It's boring.
John
Yeah.
Hamm. Isn't it?
I like John Hamm too, but it gets old after like the first season. All right, put your ads out. Nobody cares. Let's talk about the Mandalorian. Did you guys all see it?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Rosie,
Yep.
you saw it too?
crickets.
Yeah.
Rosie, you're back. Okay. Well, he saw it, so we're all free to talk about it. Spoilers on this one, or do you want to say no spoilers? I guess it's still kind of fresh, huh?
Yeah, no spoilers.
All right, no spoilers. I loved it.
All of it?
Yeah. I don't know if there's anything I didn't really like.
There's like a good 4 episodes in there where I was just like, all right, you're done. You're going the direction of the Last Jedi. Like, you're just going off in this weird tangent. You're not connecting anything. You're just doing things to do them.
I looked at this show like a series of comic books that kind of connected to each other.
You mean a series of short stories?
Shorter
Maybe
You could
done
say that.
with a
stories.
beginning, middle, and an end.
Yeah. So I didn't mind it, but I could see how if you were like, it should all be one long consistent thing, it would make no sense. Like, it would be just all over the place.
Yeah.
But I looked at it as little stories about being a bounty hunter. So I didn't mind. I thought it was cool. And
I
of course-
actually I liked a lot of the cameos.
yeah, some interesting ones.
There's some. It's like, wait, what are you doing here?
Okay, I got a question. The dude that when he got back with his old crew and that dude that was running the prison escape, that's a cameo, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought so, but I was watching on my phone, so I wasn't really like looking at it.
He might be a comedian.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was
Trying to do a little bit of Adam.
Bill Burr.
Like, yeah.
Bill Burr. Yeah, okay. I thought that was him. I thought I heard the voice a little bit, and I was like,
Sounds
no,
like
they
he's
wouldn't put him in here.
Yeah, what is he doing in there? It was awesome.
No, I actually liked that episode with him in it because I just liked hearing him talk. I just hated the end when the Mandalorian was behind him, and then he just goes, ah! And
I'm cool with it. I thought that was funny. That was like a weird like reverse slasher movie. That episode.
I mean, physically, that doesn't make sense.
Right. It makes no sense, but that's what it was.
Where's Izzy's?
The good guy was the slasher going around slashing people. Except, I guess if I had one annoyance, he didn't kill any of them, and it's like he'd fucking kill them.
I thought he took someone.
He killed 3 of them, dude.
No, they're all left in the prison. Every one of them was at the very end. They're all alive.
I thought he took that one dude's head
No,
off.
he definitely killed.
Oh, maybe he killed one dude, but like the 3 that you think he killed, because it's like it kind of cut away.
Yeah,
Like they were all still alive and sitting in that
inside
prison cell.
He put them in the cell.
Yeah. It was like, come on, he's the fucking Mandalorian. He would have ripped
No,
him.
man, he's trying to be a nice guy. I will say the last episode was actually pretty enjoyable for me, for the most part, because I found out who it was directed by.
Yeah, Taika Waititi, whatever his name.
Waititi.
Wait, you liked it because it was directed by, not because it was directed well, but because there was a name attached to it?
No, you knew it was going to be directed. I knew it. By the end of it, I was like, oh, actually, I except for the part where we're not spoiling, or we are spoiling.
We're not spoiling.
Towards the end, some stuff happens, and I'm just like, let's just get on with
We
it.
kind of already spoiled that one episode, though.
Well,
Yeah,
but that episode doesn't have a whole lot of plot details in it, which is
It's an isolated incident. That's true.
yeah.
But is it Waititi? It was the only episode that had like legitimate comedy in it, like the beginning with the 2 stormtroopers.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah, because that's how he does banter. That's why I was like, oh man, this is a really funny episode. And then after I found out it's directed by him, I was like, there you go. Like, that's all it
Dude,
takes. A lot of these
that was
episodes
awesome.
are directed by different people, so it was interesting.
That could be why it felt like comic books.
Yeah,
The
I mean,
man-
well, they're all their own episodes, so I guess they just got pick of the litter, do what you can.
To
Jon
me-
Favreau wrote them all, but they let them all do it.
To me, this was so much better than any of the new Star Wars movies. Like by a huge stretch. I prefer
First
this.
2 episodes, I will agree. First 2 episodes were like really high end, really good. And
I'll
then
take
everything
all of
after that, besides that sexy stormtrooper or shock trooper.
Oh, you know who that is, right?
No.
Gina
That's, what's her
Carano?
name? She's an MMA.
Yeah, Gina
Yeah,
Carano.
Gina Carano. Yeah, she's MMA.
Yeah.
Well, she's retired. She was in Haywire. She started in Haywire, where she beat up Michael Fassbender and Channing Tatum, like really bad. She killed Michael Fassbender.
While I was
I'll be a villain in any movie where she's a fucking hero.
yeah. I honestly kept like looking at her and I'm like, those shoulders are so broad. She's so strong. She's such a like strong. Why am I so attracted to you?
Those thick eyes, man. She's thick with 2 C's, dog.
Yeah.
But she's also doing a whole lot better acting. Haywire, she's not really the best actor. And she was in something.
Wasn't she in Deadpool?
Yeah.
She was the
She was also in Fast and Furious.
Russian. No.
She was the girl that fights. What's his name?
Yeah.
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 You can get it in there too.
Colossus.
But I mean, she's definitely enjoyable. I'm glad they brought her back. I'm actually glad. I keep forgetting his freaking name.
Reading Rainbow Boy?
Spencer. It's Spencer.
Black dude.
Reading
Spencer.
Rainbow.
It's Spencer.
Yeah. I know it. It's not coming to me. But
Yeah,
he's great.
I liked him.
He was great.
I liked him.
Do you
Yeah.
remember when he was
The
dealing with,
bounty dude.
when he was talking about, he was like with the baby Yoda and they're feeding him meat, and then he's like, the Yoda was doing something to him, and he goes, "He's gonna eat me." It was so funny.
He's like, it was the last episode. He's like, all right, man, you gotta use your powers, use your hand thing. He's like that. He's like, I'm out of ideas.
He was so good.
Very good. I hope they don't, because the way it ends seems to imply that there's just like,
They'll
all
be
right, now
back.
he's gonna meet a bunch of. Yeah, I hope that's not the case, and they bring those guys back because they all did good. I actually even like the droid. It was like the last, it was the last episode. you hear all these blasters go off, and they're all like, "Oh my gosh, what's gonna happen?" And then he comes back. You are protected. I was like, what the hell? This is ridiculous. But it was good. It was good. And
Yeah.
again, that was the same episode with Taika Waititi.
Who did Thor
He did
Ragnarok?
Thor. He did the movie about
Vampires.
more recently about the
Twilight.
German boy.
Oh, he did
I
that.
can't say the other word. Yeah,
He did that.
yeah, that was him. He actually stars in it.
Oh, very cool.
So
The satire
Tough.
movie.
yes,
Yeah, I wanted to see that. I just never got around to it.
same.
It's probably good. All right.
Coming
Well,
of age, apparently.
okay. I recommend it? Do you guys recommend it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had a good time.
So
Most of it.
you don't think it's as good as the other Star Wars, the actual Star Wars movies, then, Eric? That's a good segue,
No.
right?
Yeah, we actually, you and I would disagree for a very long time, going back and forth, talking about the new Star Wars. Actually,
You think so? I don't know if we would.
really?
Well,
Thumbs up or thumbs down on them?
Okay.
Careful what you're getting into.
It's
Okay.
yeah. This is gonna be a careful dance. I
It's
give
gonna be
it. If I'm looking at it as a movie, like we're just talking about movies here, it's a thumbs down for sure. Like, you can't look at that and be like, that's a good movie. It's kind of impossible. But if you look at it from what could they do, like what are you able to do with this thing that you have to end, you have to do something with it, I don't know how it could have been any better. I mean, no, I do know a couple things, but I get why it sucked so horribly. So I
That's
give
how
it
I feel about Hobbit.
such a pass. Yeah, you could probably say that about the
I like
Hobbit.
the Hobbit thing because I'm like, what else are they gonna do?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, but different opinion about Star Wars. You guys go.
What do you think about it, Eric?
So I rewatched all 11 Star Wars with the fiance. She'd never seen any of them, so I sat down and watched every single one of them based on release date.
Which one did she like the most?
Last Jedi.
Oh my god!
And it's not because she told me oh yeah, I liked that one. It's because that was the one she laughed at the most. That's the one she got scared at the most. That's the one I had the most reactions out of her. Other actual reactions, not just making fun of it, because she was when we first started watching them, she was like, "Oh, that little green Kermit thing," or she'd be like,
Yeah.
she would call C-3PO. She's like, "Oh yeah, the robot," and she wouldn't even attempt to learn their names and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
She was cracking a lot of jokes and stuff in the beginning.
Well, 1 through 3, I think that's par for the course.
1 through 3, she pretty much slept through all of them.
Yeah,
Okay.
I remember.
She
I could see that.
she pretty much
At least not until Duel of Fates.
At which Senate hearing did she fall asleep?
it was
Fifth.
15 minutes into the first one, she fell asleep.
I could see it.
So is the third.
They were talking about the trade, the trade routes, and if they're going to have a trade embargo. That's what I like about Star Wars.
There was one we started episode 3, and she fell asleep before the credits or the intro even scrolled through to tell you to read that.
That is
Okay.
She
well,
but she was already tired, so I paused it and I was like, we'll do this again tomorrow. I was like, because that's not fair. That's not fair.
She's turned over the other side.
Anakin Skywalker.
All things considered, I actually do like the way the third one does start out.
I like the way it
just think
ends.
gets stupid progressively because I've rewatched it recently.
I'm the exact opposite.
Okay, cool. This is my time.
Oh my god.
I am the captain now. But I actually do like the fight scene at the end and the buildup of the emotions and things like that, which a lot of people, we've had this conversation before. The choreography is it's better than episodes 7 to 8. I haven't seen 9. 1, 2, and 3 actually had specific choreographers in it, and there was certain liberties taken with the fighting styles. I've actually been reading up about. Apparently, Darth Maul used Form 7 she's Atari or something, Ataru or whatever. It's the hardest out of all of them, but it's the most acrobatic. So they're like, that's what he was using, which explains why he was such a threat to all the Jedi. He was pretty much trained as an assassin. That's why he's flipping around all over the place. And Obi-Wan used Form 4, whatever it is. It's a defensive style. But he was using it offensively when Qui-Gon passed away, but switched to a different form when he was fighting, what's his name? Anakin. Because he had to match him and be aggressive against him. So, like, stuff like that, whatever. But you can see how it's in the choreography, how they're doing that. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I'm glad they spent a lot of time on the choreography in that movie.
That's all you got, man.
As opposed to actually making a good movie.
Give me the score. If all you're going to do is talk about the Trade Federation launch, fucking do it. But at least I got Duel of Fates out of it. I'll take it.
So,
and Obi-Wan is, freaking Ewan McGregor is a good Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. So as far as the Star Wars series, like the 11 movies and all that kind of stuff, pretty much every time that they have Jedi actually in the movie, so the core trilogies, minus the original trilogy, I don't think that they integrate the Force and Jedi and Sith and stuff into the story very well. I think if you take 1, 2, and 3, and you take 7, 8, and 9, and focus purely on the Force and the Jedi, and you take all the resistance and all the big threat of the world and every planet being destroyed, if you take all of those characters surrounding that and just put them towards figuring out the Force, figuring out the balance, and just fighting like the first 3 movies, episode 1, 2, and 3, the story of Anakin, and just focused on his growth and his battle with the Force, but you don't have this threat of an entire like droid army popping up and like Order 66 and all that stuff. All that stuff like existing, but just not with this like weird Gungan like battle and all that stuff. Just stop the resistance and stop the civil war that's going on. Ignore that part of it, and I think the stories make a lot more sense, especially with 7, 8, and 9. Like, they won in spoiler.
No spoilers.
Spoiler.
No, don't.
In 6.
Not for 9.
In 6, the resistance wins. The Empire loses. And then in 7 starts up, and it's like, oh, the Empire's back. We got to fight them again, and we got to do it with less resources because even though we won the war, we have less allies now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to make excuses for it.
No, it's just like if they just didn't have to do that. If they just told Kylo, if they told Ben Kenobi, if they told Leia, Luke, Rey, Snoke, if they told that story through 7, 8, 9, I think it would have been great movies. I think as far as what they could have done with the series, like what you were talking about, Spence, I think they didn't, like, what could you have done? Ignore the resistance, ignore the new order.
I agree with that, but when you're making film 3 of 3 and they haven't done that, and they especially, and this is what we disagree on, is The Last Jedi for sure, right? That's where we're like total opposites. Yeah. When you do when you make The Last Jedi and you don't talk about what the fuck you're doing, and it's completely disjointed, and you throw everything away, what do you do? Like, because you have to make it. It's not like you can't. You're like, oh, you know what? 9's canceled, guys. It's gonna be a duo movie, and the Force lives on. So just let's be happy with it. You can't do that,
right? And I agree that Last Jedi. We're gonna spoil Last Jedi because if you haven't seen that by now, Snoke dying never should have fucking happened. Like, they should have like let him escape. They should have not had him in the room where he was like just a mirage or whatever.
and then the fight in the room breaks out because they realize, oh, he's not actually here.
It was pretty.
Yeah, I
Pretty
mean,
fight.
the fight was awesome. The fight was super cool, but the act of him actually dying, he could have been tricked and not like Kylo could have just been like, light the saber and bring it over to me. Oh shit. I thought I was going to kill you. That's not actually you. You're using the projection thing that Luke Skywalker did, but you're stronger than he was, so you didn't die. You didn't fucking keel over from
overexertion. Really, really tired.
Yeah. Like, they could have just not killed Snoke and then continued on to 9, and it would have been perfectly fine.
Because Snoke could have been the re-embodied Palpatine anyway. And then
they were...
But Snoke could have been that kind of character. Instead, they rebuilt Palpatine. I mean, that's not a spoiler. That's in the freaking trailer.
Yeah.
So it's like why? All like half of 9 is just undoing what 8 did.
That's how I like to spend my trilogies.
Yeah, it's like they're a bunch of bickering children.
It wasn't. I wouldn't say fixing it. It was.
I don't know about fixing it. It's just undoing it.
I don't know if they were trying to undo it though. They were trying to find alternatives for it because you can't undo what they did in 8. But they were like
totally did.
How did they undo? God damn it.
Okay, this is.
Oh wait, JT.
Yeah,
I don't think this part's a secret. I think everybody knows this part.
He goes on to reveal the biggest secret.
Rey, your parents were nobody. They were literally just drunkards or whatever that did nothing.
They're scavengers.
Go to next episode. They're actually somebody. It's just kind of a point of view thing. Literally, that happened.
Okay. I forgot about that.
At one point, Luke in Last Jedi, Luke throws his lightsaber backwards out of carelessness.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to spoil it, but it completely undoes that scene. Almost as like because that didn't even need to happen, but that was just like a fucking comedic shot where there's like, fuck you. That's what it was.
That was a mean shot.
What?
To J.J. Abrams or to
Rian Johnson? Because it didn't even need to happen, but he put it in that movie.
No, you're saying who did he direct that to? Just
Rian Johnson.
I don't.
You're not getting what I'm saying.
J.J. Abrams put that in that movie so to take a shot at Rian Johnson.
Rian Johnson directed Last Jedi.
Yeah.
He
in episode 9, there's a scene where he basically says "fuck you" to that. You just have to see it. I don't want to spoil it.
Right, but you were talking about how you felt when that happened initially.
No, I'm talking about episode 9.
Whatever.
I'm talking about scenes in episode 9 where they had to undo what they did in episode 8.
I get what you're saying, JD.
So garbage with your words.
So in 8, in Last Jedi, that scene pissed me off where he just threw the lightsaber over the ledge, because that to me is like, that was Mark Hamill acting as like the Joker. Like It was like, what could I do that completely shocks everyone right now?
I'm pretty sure Rian Johnson wrote that.
Even if he did, but it's just.
I mean, you can take some liberties as an actor. I don't know if that's the best route we should go there.
Right. Yeah.
He talked about that, didn't he? In like an interview, he's like, I wouldn't have gone that route, that character.
Yeah, it just seemed so much where it's like, I get that Star Wars has funny moments. There's a couple of them in 9 that we'll talk about next week after JD has seen the movie.
I can't wait. JD, hurry
up. But there's a couple scenes in 9 where I actually was like, huh. But it was like just sitting back in my chair and I'm just like,
I thought 9 was probably the least funny of all of them.
There was like 3 scenes that I laughed at that I did the thing to, because I acknowledged the joke, but I didn't laugh.
Right.
And in 8, I thought that 8, I can't think of a damn thing that made me laugh.
I was laughing at the script.
Oh, you know what? I can laugh at something. In 8, when Chewbacca was eating the little penguins.
Yes, that was
funny. Yeah, that was funny. Them jumping on the ship with Chewbacca and him having to fight the New Order with all the little penguins flying around the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon can go eat shit. I would have eaten them.
Yeah.
But I think 9 overall. I think my review of all this, if you just focus on the rise and fall and the turmoil and the mission of Luke Skywalker and the Jedi and the Sith, like if you focus on Rey and her story and her character growth and progression, along with Ben Solo and Kylo Ren, if you focus in on the Jedi part of it and the Sith part of it, it's a really good story across all three of them. I think that 8, it got shaky. It got really weird, but at the end of it, when they kill Snoke and that battle goes on, and then Rey and Kylo go have the conversations, and they're trying to talk about like, I saw you taking my hand. I saw you turning from the dark side, like where they both saw each other turning and helping the other complete their goals. I think that that conversation and everything that happens after that is really where the story starts to get interesting to me.
Yeah, they're definitely the highlight. That relationship, especially Adam Driver.
Yeah,
I think
I'm honest.
he killed it, and especially in 9. I mean, he killed it in all of them, I guess, but 9, I really.
Who aren't you
it.
the person?
I didn't
7.
look. I didn't love him.
Said he was not a good actor, and I told you from the day one that he was.
I don't think he's that great of an actor, but I think he did well.
He's a great actor. He worked independent movies initially, but of course.
Oh, okay. He must have been.
He has a new one on Netflix right now.
Yeah, Marriage Story.
Yeah, that movie's whack, but I
haven't seen it yet.
He doesn't like marriage.
I think it's whack, but no.
In 7, I did not think he did very well.
I didn't like him that much either, but it also kind of makes sense looking back, the way he acted in that. It's like his character growth.
Well, for his character growth, yes. But there's a few scenes in that one, and especially in 8, where I was just like, like, that makes, yes, like angsty fucking teenager that writes "fuck" on his acoustic guitar.
Is that one he's...
Got a little history with that.
that's sort of the same issue with Pedro Pascal when he's acting as the Mandalorian. You don't. It's so hard to be like, and the Academy goes to, because, well, I mean, I gotta look back at 7, but how long did he have his helmet on too?
Half of it, I think.
Yeah, and it's like half of your, I guess, your Hollywood debut at that point is you with the mask on. It's just not the best.
Well, actually, it's in 7. That's when I liked him.
When did he smash his helmet? In 7?
8.
In 8? That's when he.
Oh yeah, he rebuilds it.
Yeah, but he smashed it in the what's it called?
Into the wall in the elevator.
In the elevator.
That was 8.
Yeah, but in 9 he
That's
rebuilds
neat.
it.
Welcome back. Well, I think there's a reason I rebuilt it in 9.
Because they did that with everything in 9.
Well, no, because he got freaking cut up. It makes a little more sense than beforehand. It was just like, why are you wearing a mask?
No, in 9 they literally just undid everything. It's
Okay,
pretty
cool.
funny. I'm telling you, that's what they did.
Yeah.
Talking to a wall here.
In 8, when he smashed his helmet, that's the scene where I just kind of was like, I just fucking, what are you doing?
Didn't he always also like throw around his like lightsabers?
I get he would throw tantrums and stuff, and some of those scenes were supposed to be comedic.
Yeah.
Like, he would slash stuff up, and they'd be like, "Oh, we're gonna."
The stormtrooper's like, we gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
What looks like the elevator?
Yeah. Well, is there anything else to report? Actually, there is. Die. And it's like, well, no, like that makes no fucking sense.
Just trying to help you, sir.
Yeah, like I'm here to report to you, and you're gonna kill me because I'm reporting. It just shows how irrational and like emotional he was. But I don't think his character needed that. I actually think if you really read when the intro starts coming through, and on episode 9, really fucking read that. Like, don't just scan. Yeah, don't just scan through. Actually read it, and that actually, I was not prepared to read what I read. I didn't think it was going that direction. I didn't think, because they tell you, like, yeah, you know that little bitch in 8 that you met? read this.
Yeah. Do you recommend it, Eric?
I do.
I recommend it.
I recommend watching all 3 of them and focusing just on the Jedi story.
And forget that for the first half of the movie exists in 9. Just forget it, and just go to the second half. I don't know. Take a really long bathroom break. The first half of episode 9 was completely pointless.
No, it wasn't. That was like it wasn't. That was like I had to piss like 40 minutes into the movie. I held that shit through the entire movie, and the moment they went done, I was already like my seat was like reclined in.
Drenched.
I was stepping over people, like kicked someone's popcorn over that was sitting on the floor.
Excellent.
I was like, "Fuck, I got piss!" And I ran in there and I started peeing. I was the first one in there. I was like the 10th person to leave the room. I had to pee so goddamn bad.
First half of the movie is MacGuffin Hunter. That's all it is. All right.
I gotta get going.
So ominous.
Okay. Rosie, got anything to say?
Thanks for your input, Rosie.
All right, dude. We can make the Twitter thing next week. It's not a big deal. Unless you want to talk about JD.
Yeah, we can still keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, because all I can talk about is movies and stuff right now. I can't talk about games.
Well, we could talk about a game that both of us beat. Because I don't think you reviewed it, did you?
Fallen Order?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right.
Bye, Eric.
Bye, Boo Bear.
I guess it's back.
Rosie's back. Back
Oh.
again.
Trade from one black guy for another.
What?
Rosie, did you play Fallen Order?
No, I wanted to though. I saw it on sale.
I'll be giving it back this weekend. Couldn't beat it.
Too hard.
I will tell you one thing. If we're starting into the review just right now,
Let's do it.
fuck spiders.
Yeah.
Fuck spiders. Because there's legit the first area in Kashyyyk where they're at.
Yeah.
It's a web right in the middle. I didn't pick up on that initially. I was minding my own business. And then imagine my surprise, a giant spider zoomed in, is biting my fucking neck. I lost my fucking shit, dude. I literally had to pause and get up and walk away. I was so mad. I was upset.
All right, JD, what do you think of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order?
Well, I had the liberty and the audacity to play it on the hardest difficulty. Which is
Having never
Jedi
played it before.
Having never played it before on Jedi Grandmaster. I will tell you one thing that remains true, and very few games have ever proven me wrong about this. When you play on the hardest difficulty of the game, of a game, it's the flaws of the game really start to make themselves apparent. It's more of a min-maxing sort of thing, right? Because I take 2 hits and I'm dead. Meanwhile, if you're playing on normal, ooh, laser fire, oh well, and you still get through.
Yes.
Right? I play on the harder difficulties because it inadvertently forces me to play the game and to adhere to the game's rules. So, like,
exploit
I
the
have to make
game's rules.
Yeah, so I'm maximizing my parrying. I'm making sure I'm leveling up all the time. I'm doing all that shit, right? I'm doing everything that the game is telling you to do. So if I was playing normal, I'd just be like, fucking done. Out. Peace. The characters I like.
Yeah.
For the most part. Cal is actually played by that dude who played the Joker in Gotham.
Right.
He like grew up real quick or some shit. He got taller really quick. Because I thought he was a kid 5 seconds ago. Blew my fucking mind.
He wasn't like annoying.
He wasn't annoying. And to be let's start off with the basics. Gameplay wise, it's fine. A couple
It's
concerns.
Star Wars meets Dark Souls.
Not really. And I've got a couple concerns with it.
Okay.
When it comes down to it. The biggest thing is this. If I'm resting at a bonfire in Dark Souls, no matter what, the enemies respawn. Not only if I rest. So it's get that out the gate.
Oh
Because if
my
I can,
god!
here's why. Because if I'm progressing in the story, and let's just say I don't take a lot of damage, or I'm progressing, I kill a bunch of guys, and I'm like, all right, now I'm gonna go this way. So like I have a central area. If you go back to the waypoint area and you just sit there, it checkpoints you there. So you're doing exactly what a bonfire would do. You're just not resting at it and respawning the enemies. So that's minor. I'm not even considering that a negative. But when anyone ever says like, "Oh, it's like Dark Souls," no, it's fucking not. It's like Dark Souls for someone who's never played Dark Souls. So, Spence. But I will say, I actually got a little bit upset in the story, because I felt halfway through the pacing sort of just did this instead of just having this like straight line.
Mm-hmm.
Like the opening scene was cool, right? You're on the ship, whatever, or you're on the train. You know, all that shit's going on. Someone's gonna rescue. Who are you? Oh, well, we'll help you out. And then you get helped out by those guys. Go to Bogano, and then you do the first real puzzle thing or whatever. No qualms with any of that stuff. That stuff's fine. You go to the second place, which is, I forget, the rainy place, the tropical place. And you go through that stuff, and that's actually kind of cool. Some of the boss fights and things like that. That's neato. When you get, because you go to Darthamir like 4 times, it feels like. When you go there the first time, there's a scene that happens that prevents you from using your lightsaber. I thought, one, that was stupid, because I'm like, really? Like, that's going to stop me? Me having freaking vivid visions is going to prevent me from using my lightsaber now? What kind of... Your shit's made out of copper or something? Like, come on, man. And then also, especially... is it Dathomir or Darthamir?
Dathomir.
Dathomir. Dathomir.
Dathomir, yeah.
That place, I think I hated the most out of any planet.
More than like the red-looking planet?
Yeah, with the giants. It's your Korriban, your typical Sith live here kind of shit or whatever. For 2 reasons. One, the enemies there don't give a fuck if you have a lightsaber, which I hate. Right? That's funny.
We did this differently.
What do you mean?
I never had that issue.
I mean in the sense of like these guys just have clubs and they're blocking my lightsaber.
Gotcha.
Get the fuck out of here. That shit gets
it's a video game.
I get it. Artistic liberties. All it meant was just another force push. You're off the ledge. That's all it really meant. But I started to get irritated when I was going through it, because I was doing the same. I'm trying not to spoil this for Rosie. I was doing the same storyline over and over. There's obviously a scene with Cal and I forget her name. Who is played by, I forget her name, Black Girl, where her history gets brought up. And then Cal's initially like, and then Cal apparently makes okay with it. And then you're like, okay, fine. And then something else happens. And then Cal goes again. And I'm like, bro, like, can you get over it or learn to deal with it? And then finally, like right at the end of the game, I accept you. What the fuck? That didn't even need to happen. Who cares? It didn't happen with the captain, who was apparently hallucinating when they were on Dathomir. And then
they tried to play that dramatically, and it kind of fell flat. It
fell absolutely flat. Flatter than paper, man. And then you jump over to Ilium, which is the Jedi planet, where it's like your Hoth. It's your Hoth. And then they're like, hey, you get to choose any crystal you want. And I was like, bitch, this should have been from the get-go. Like, why am I waiting towards the end of the game to finally get my ability to choose a crystal? Because I was literally in my head, I was going, well, I got my green lightsaber right here, but Spence said he got a purple one. Where's it at, right? And I was going to look it up online just for fear of like spoilers.
I was okay with it.
I ended up...
That's third act kicking into gear.
I guess. You went with what, violet?
Yeah.
Or straight up purple?
I don't remember now.
I did the offset of purple.
Was there? Oh, okay. I didn't even notice that there was a difference. Maybe I did at the time. I just
because there's blue and then there's cyan.
I don't remember.
And then I used the yellow one a lot too. But as I was going through that sort of like last part of that game, then things start to get interesting, and I'm just like, I shouldn't have had to play this long for things to suddenly matter. Like they have some cameos from like Rogue One, and then you're in Kashyyyk, and you know all that
Dude,
stuff's happening.
Best scene in the game, getting on that AT-AT. Dude,
Getting on the AT-AT?
yeah, like climbing it and getting in it, and that was freaking.
Oh,
cool.
that scene, yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, because then you're just like going around.
Dude,
and
as a
stuff.
kid, if I could have
Yeah.
played that like when I was like 10, I would have blown a load. That was so good. That reminded me of like Super Empire Strikes Back or something like
Yeah.
that, but like in a full-on realized.
You mean Super Star Wars?
Well, it was super. They had all three of them. I don't think you did that.
You start off on Hoth though, don't you? And you do the front flip slash.
Yeah, but that's an Empire Strikes Back. Super Empire Strikes Back.
I think it's just Super Star Wars.
No, Super Star Wars is the first one. I mean, it might be called Super Star Wars, but it's called Empire Strikes Back.
You're making that up.
I'm gonna Google it right fucking now.
Well, too late. I'm asking your opinion about what you thought about the game.
I thought it was good. Rosie, what do you think?
That's right. That's right.
Talk about it more so I can Google this.
Oh man, that AT.
Well, he hasn't even played it. Rosie
Yeah,
will
that's
play it
it.
next. But I
Super Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back is what it's called.
I told you.
But you know what I'm trying to tell you? It's that one.
No, I'm trying to be a dick.
Oh.
Correct.
No, I thought it was really good. I played it on the medium difficulty because I'm a loser and I can't.
Was that like
I'm not
Padawan or
good.
something?
No, I played on medium difficulty.
Sort of Padawan.
Padawan bitch. I like the set pieces. My only complaint, I guess I do see how the story kind of derailed its own self by being so like, go to this planet, go back to this planet, go back to this. It's like, can we just like finish a planet and not do this?
Just keep going.
Yeah. The only thing I kind of didn't like, and you might not have mind, but I was hoping it'd be more of an RPG than it was.
I agree.
I wanted to be the Jedi that I wanted to be, and instead I was an all-around Jedi, which, okay, that's what they wanted, but I kind of wanted to be more like, oh, it'd be cool if I could like specialize in like force powers or something. And you really,
It's like
I mean,
Jedi,
I guess you
Outcast.
I guess you sort of can, but not really. I mean, you only get so many points, and it's pretty evenly spread throughout the game. So,
yeah,
you pretty much just build a well-rounded Jedi. Whatever. I liked it, and there was some, like you said, cameos. There was definitely, especially at the end, your what do you call it? Like a fan service. There's definitely.
I actually like that scene,
but I liked it. It wasn't bad. It made sense in the context of the story. So
yeah. No, when there was like suddenly stop talking, I was like, what happened? You get stabbed? Or something? And then literally, and of course, Cal's just like, well, that doesn't look good. Like he doesn't even know.
Yeah.
It's like, who are you? And then that was actually pretty interesting. And then like right at the end, I actually liked Trilla right at the end.
yeah.
Right before, I was like, "Oh, that's pretty powerful." And then I can't spoil it for Rosie. Rosie, can you take your headphones off for a second?
I don't care about spoilers. You can go ahead. Go
Okay,
crazy.
when Trilla gets killed and she goes avenge us, I was like, "Oh, that's hype." I was like, "That was kind of hype." That got me. But then I was like, "All right, let's fight this guy." And then I literally was like, "I'm probably not even going to be able to approach him." Sure as shit, not even able to approach him. But I will say though, that was the only. That in the beginning were the only good set pieces. And by set
and
pieces,
the AT-AT, man.
and the AT-AT. Fine. I'll give you the AT-AT. But the scenes with the bird on Dathomir, that shit was so drawn out and fucking boring to me. I was losing interest in the game. I was like, I'm gonna play Max Payne.
That was some
Like,
episode 2 stuff.
And that's the thing is like people look at it and they go like, oh, Uncharted did it. Yeah, Uncharted knew how to pace it is why. And they gave you a lot of control. So like Uncharted's like, you have to make this jump while you're being chased by a helicopter. And they're like, sort of guide yourself and then hit L2 and you're on them. And I was like, that's fucking dumb. And then the other scene before that was with the other bird on Kashyyyk. I was just like, what the fuck? Like this is
It was a bit
the
much.
build up to it was part of it was neat when you're sort of gliding through, but then I'm like, how long am I going to be gliding through and suddenly reach the peak of this place? I'm going down. Like, what the hell? But I also wish there were more lightsaber battles. Like actual lightsaber. Like you fight the ninth sister once.
Yeah, but I think the story would dictate that's not going to happen.
Well, if they're Inquisitors, here's the thing: you can't name the characters. I'm the second sister. I'm the ninth sister, and just keep that broad of a margin and not go like, oh, six sisters over here or third sisters over here. You can't do that.
Yeah.
You at least have to be like, there's more, to be like, oh, there's a real threat here.
Well, they're making another one. It seemed like by the end of the end of the game, that's what it seemed like.
Maybe, but like, what would be the motivation at that point?
Kill the other sisters,
or find another holocron, break that one too.
Yeah,
like, whatever.
Star Wars. They can do whatever they want.
What do you think? You recommend it?
I would recommend it to someone who has not played Dark Souls and is not expecting it to be like Dark Souls, because they don't know what Dark Souls is. But to someone who's like, oh, I'm looking for a challenge, I'm playing the hardest difficulty, like hardcore gamer status or whatever, I wouldn't recommend it because a lot of it's frustrating. The game itself breaks its own conventions for things like parrying and things like that. You'll hit guys and their attack still goes through and hits you. I can't say how many times I've died because of that. It's like two kids playing freaking a shooting game. I shot you. Like, it's fucking dumb.
Gotcha. I would recommend it for almost like you said, like a weekend game or something like that.
Yeah, nice solid $30. Go nuts. There's absolutely no replay value. Understand?
Right.
But
like it's a one and done experience, and you'll be happy with it, I think.
Yeah. So it is what it is.
Who would have thought that we'd get a game from EA that was good, and like we would be hating Bethesda? Like, can you imagine that? Like 2 years ago. Like, by the way, EA makes like the best game at the end of the year, and everyone hates Bethesda. Like, wait, what? Like,
well, last year, if I could tell you right at the start of last year, hey, by the end of this year, Capcom's actually going to be in everyone's good graces. You're fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And by last year, I mean 2018, because I'm still not used to 2020.
True.
But no, I mean, but EA does make good games. It's just not all the time. Half the time, they're not good.
And not to mention, they just have so many paywalls behind so many games. It kind of kills the fun.
I mean, so long as the next Battlefield is modern, I'm gonna get it. That's why I never played Battlefield 1 or the other one, Battlefield 5. Yeah. Just because I'm like, it's not modern. I like the modern ones better.
True.
So, and Visceral made Dead Space, so I guess that one kind of doesn't count. There is subsection.
Do we want to talk about the Twitter thing, or are we over time?
I'm good because I had this whole week off, so that's why I've been playing all these games. But
party.
Yeah, pretty much just
Rosie.
Painkillers and games. That's Rosie. The Max Payne way.
Rosie, you want to talk about some Twitter drama?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'll hit you since we haven't heard you in a little bit.
Yeah, I haven't said anything this whole podcast. Let's get it.
Mike Matei, are you familiar with him?
Nope.
He's on the Angry Video Game Nerds channel. They do Mike and James Mondays.
Yeah, okay. I've seen maybe one of his videos.
Well, he's catching a lot of heat for a tweet that he put out. That's what Twitter is for, is to have people hate you. Seems like a really good product to have.
That's what I was thinking too. You know what? Before you start, can we say all I ever hear about Twitter is so and so said, it's always negative. It's never positive shit anymore.
Ever.
I mean, what do you expect?
I expect a social networking group to have some positivity or something nice on it.
I think it's up to the interpretation. There could be someone saying, right now, there's Troy right now just said, just donate $100 to the Nevada SPCA. Thanks for the stream. And no one's going to say shit about that. But the minute Troy goes, I dropped the N-word on stream. I'm so sorry, guys. Then they're going to be like, white streamer.
I got
you. That's the way it is. It's the way it is.
All right, you ready for Mike Matei? I'm gonna hit you with a quote, and I want your thoughts, Rosie, and then
Gotcha.
JD, I guess. After, let's hear Rosie's
Maybe.
first though.
Yeah.
Retweet if you agree. If you use the rewind feature that's now standard on many NES and SNES games available on Switch, you did not, by any stretch of the imagination, beat the goddamn game.
This is the guy.
Yeah,
I heard this.
He knows the tweet, but not the
I know
guy.
that. Yeah, I know the tweet. I heard this. I was like, wait, no. I mean, like a true experience, I guess. If you're that kind of nostalgia hound, then yeah, I guess he's right because you're never gonna have the rewind feature when you had those Nintendos. But how are you gonna say that you didn't beat the game? Like you beat the game. Those games were made like almost like arcade games. Just
Can we,
suck your point.
while we're on it, can we just add save states to this?
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Can we
Say
just assume that's part of what he's talking about.
All right.
Okay, cool.
But I don't know. Save states a little. I think honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. If it's save stating in like modern games in which you're not supposed to be doing it, I kind of. I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I don't think those are clean. I don't think those are good, man. Like, because it's obviously something. Like, can you imagine having a save state in Dark Souls, or something like that's meant to be like learn, repeat, or make a mistake, learn from it, and then get better, and then you're like, nope, just coming back to it.
To be honest with you, save states or the replay feature or things like that, depending on how they're used and what they're used for, I don't have a problem with it. Like Castlevania is a big example. Castlevania Symphony of the Night takes how long to get back? You have to go to the main menu when you die, by the way. You get to the main menu, and then you have to click in, then like, oh, which save do you want to use? The one I was just fucking on. And then you got to load it back up, and then you do the fucking coffin thing, and you're back in. That's like 25 seconds, 30 seconds. Yeah, I'd rather I died, let me just load back from here. Like, that's so much fucking easier for me to deal with. But I understand it to what Rosie's saying. Like, if you do it for Dark Souls, or something like that, if you had that capability.
Okay,
or like
but
Ninja Gaiden.
So, yes, but Ninja Gaiden, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Because that's a game where that would exist right now.
Right, like, oh, you got to have balls to beat this game. Hey, I beat it. Did you use replay feature? Yeah, what doesn't count? You know, that's
so
different from.
Let's use that or Mega Man. So you got that, you got Mega Man.
Yeah.
Save states. And rewind. What's your thoughts?
What's the intention? Because I can tell you right now, there are people that like to do speed runs on those games. That's a way easier way for them to learn. Vice someone just beating it. If you're just playing it to beat it or whatever the case is.
Just playing it to beat it, because that's what he's saying. You didn't beat the goddamn game. So he's not. I don't think he's talking about specialty players.
I think it's really elitist to sort of come at it like that, because it's just more of that like who are you to dictate how someone beat a game kind of a thing. But he brings up an interesting point in the sense of like, does that affect the? It doesn't affect the experience. You still, in the grand scheme of things, you still experience the beginning, middle, and end of the game, the story, whatever you want to call it.
I say yes.
You say what?
I say, it affects the game. Could you imagine? I'm sorry, go ahead and finish your point because I know I cut you off, brother.
Go ahead.
Okay. I say yes because here's the thing. Imagine getting hit and you're like, oh no, save state. And then like rewinding. And then so you don't take that hit and then constantly doing it over and over and over again. And then to the point where, oh, I had a perfect run. Like that kind of thing. Which some of these guys will do. And then, did you get the true, like, tough experience of the game when you constantly do that? And I say no. But then there's, like, if you do, like, it just depends on how badly the player abuses the rewind system, to be honest.
Rosie,
because,
did you beat Divinity?
Yeah.
Did you save maybe once or twice after a really good turn?
Yeah.
Is that bad? Because the game allows you to do it, and then now in this case, the developer allows you to do it. I can understand a concept of save scumming to an extent where it's just like crippling. Like that's why XCOM 2 on higher difficulties, and I think 1 doesn't allow you to save. It like auto saves. Like you're like whatever happens, right? And the same thing could apply to Max Payne. Playing through Max Payne 1 and 2, they still have quick saves in it. Max Payne 3 doesn't. So if I cleared out a room and I did a good job, you're damn right I'm saving that. I'm like, I don't
Right.
have to deal with that anymore because there's no save points in those games. Max Payne 3, it's after certain checkpoints can does the save. Does that make it any less of an experience at that point? No. And in both cases, the developer put them in there.
What about Mario?
What do you mean?
Did you beat a level in Mario if you save stated your way through it?
I don't really play Mario.
Jump down a pit and then save state backwards and rewind.
Yeah.
How is the save state being applied here? Are we talking about this
Save
is
state or
something-
rewind, and it's like you made a good jump, save state. Okay, let's get to the next part. Oh, I died because that works in a live feature where you only have 3 lives to get through like an entire world.
Yeah.
And then if you failed, you're supposed to go all the way back. It adds tension to the game. It adds. I mean, it's semi-artificial, but again, sign of the times. But
Sign of the times.
Can I mention something about Mario?
yeah,
Mario, I mean, I guess maybe this is when I played those games when I was a younger kid. Those had a horror element to it
right.
because of the constant like threat of being hit, jumping out pits, getting hit by fireballs. If you take that away from what the save stating, I feel like you do lose some of that like fear in those games if you can constantly rewind like that.
My thing is, it comes down to, did the developer put it in?
I agree with that.
Because at the end of the day,
In a lot of these games, they didn't. But
what games is he talking about?
he's talking about classic NES and Super Nintendo games. There was no save states for the most part.
but might be re-released and have those options. Final Fantasy 7 and 8 re-released have the fast forward feature.
Right.
They also have invulnerability and all that stuff.
but that's a gray area because that wasn't the original intention of the game.
That wasn't the original intention, but who are you to dictate how that game should be? And if
Because
you
it was originally released without it.
Okay, but if you have a problem with it, then don't use it. But don't call someone else out just because of your opinion of how you think that it should be.
I'm gonna eventually down the road, I'm gonna beat Dark Souls and I'm gonna save state my way through it, and I'm gonna brag to you about how great I was at it and that I beat it. Would you be like, oh yeah, you're good?
No, I wouldn't, because that's not actually in the game.
But what if they re-release it with it in the game?
Then go nuts. The point is,
But then am I allowed to tell you that I beat the same game that you beat?
Dude, yeah, I'm not a fucking.
You would
that
talk
kind of
shit like crazy. You tell me I'm a little
You
bitch.
didn't beat Bloodborne.
What if they did it with Bloodborne?
If they did it with Bloodborne, I would rip my own heart out. No, just no. But something like that's never going to happen for those. kinds of games.
It will.
For those games, no. Miyazaki won't let it.
Even if you say that they won't let it happen, okay. You're right. Sure.
Not Miyazaki.
Think about that for the other games. Apply that same concept.
Of what?
Of save states.
I just told you though. My opinion is
so I'm telling you that if they did it to Bloodborne and put save states in it and rewind features,
the developer.
Yes, the developer did, and you're saying they wouldn't. Okay, but apply that same that completely defeats the purpose of the game to a game from the past where they did not put it in there. And then in 2019, they put it in there so little kids could beat it because they're not good.
Because they're inferior.
They are.
What's my opinion on it? If the developer put it in there, then I don't care. It comes down to a matter of I think his argument should only be reserved for emulation. If it's something where that game never had that, nor was it ever intended, then I think that's a problem. But if it's a situation where the developer puts it in, because half of these games, they have the fast forward feature or whatever the case is in them, because they know you're an adult. You enjoyed them when you were younger. You're an adult, probably working your own jobs. You're like, man, I don't really care, Renoa. Let's just get this shit over with. You're just trying to.
But that's okay. But maybe you forfeit the actual the true game. You just forfeit that. Maybe
that's on you at that point. The developer may give you the tools, but just because you use them, it's like cheat codes for games like Grand Theft Auto or Red Dead. If you use them, they put them in the game, but you don't have to use them.
But then do you say if somebody beat a game with cheat codes, do you say you beat the game?
Bro, I beat Grand Theft Auto 3 with cheat codes.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Honestly,
It's just the way it was.
It's weird. I keep flipping back and forth between save state, because at the end of the day, if you're never going to beat the game, say it's someone who can't beat Ninja Gaiden at all. And you just want to know like what happens at the end, or what happens at the end. Because think about it, I never beat Ninja Gaiden, but now that I have the save state, maybe I'll be able to finally see the end of that game. But I just want to know, because I've tried. I've hit my I've hit like my gaming peak, or I don't know, like I can't get past that Frankenstein monster, whatever the heck that thing is. And now I'll finally get the opportunity to get past it. So, did I get the true experience? Maybe not, but at least I got to beat it. I had fun with it and learned, enjoyed it just as much as the next person. There's always gonna be that inkling in my head that be like, I didn't beat it like maybe JD would have, or Spencer, you would have, but I still had fun.
I think in a realm with so much level of subjectivity, it's impossible to make a comment like that and not expect some pushback. Because he's saying something definitive, hobby that is ultimately subjective.
But he's a genius.
He's a fucking idiot.
What do you mean?
He's not a genius. What are you talking about?
He got everybody talking.
He got everyone talking, and that's fine. He wasn't trying to get everyone talking. He was trying to be like, look at me, 2020. I'm gonna start the year with people talking about. Okay, you did get people talking. You're right about that, but not in the way that maybe he intended. A lot of people are going, and myself included, I would think developer discretion. In certain situations, it's okay. In certain situations, it's not. With gaming, how many times are things just black and white? We just got done talking about EA actually made a good game.
Yeah.
So they don't have a track record for making shitty games. They really don't.
That's the genius of this tweet.
Dude, I know you're trying to play devil's advocate.
No, it's a genius tweet.
Wipe the lid. Like, come on.
It is. Because it's like a bro insult. And everyone is analyzing it like it's like a fact that he put in a thesaurus or something. And everyone's like analyzing it like, well, what if he did this? What if he had this? And they're getting into the philosophy of it. That's like somebody saying, if you're a fan of the Cowboys, you're a pussy. That's like well,
I don't have one.
Yeah, that's the level of intelligence that went into that. But it spawned all this shit. And it's like, the answer is that there is no right answer.
What's your answer?
The answer is there is no right answer. It's whatever.
No, don't cop out. Actually, explain.
Yeah, I'm going to explain it. I'm going to explain it. But there is no right answer because there is no ledger that a human being keeps of what game they want or what game they beat. I mean, there probably is. Somebody probably keeps track, but in the grand scheme of the world, nobody gives two shits if you beat a game. Nobody's going to be like, remember in 2018 when Spencer beat Persona Q2 or Persona Q or whatever it was, and he beat it at 50% completion of all the things, and he didn't use any cheat code. Like, there is nothing like that. So it doesn't matter if you use them or you don't. It's literally just a bro puffing his chest out.
Elitist mentality.
Yeah.
I feel like the Scorsese tweet or comments were better.
Same thing.
I think they were better received though.
No, they were received worse.
No, because he has to go like,
because
what he already said was gray. He didn't say definitively they are not. That's how the media interpreted it.
Yeah.
He didn't exactly say flat out they are not. So that's a bit different than what Mike is saying. Mike is like, you did not. And it's just like, you can't do that, man.
It's just literally Twitter for this shit. The people that do it right are guys that are sitting on like they look like they're sitting on like a love seat or sitting on some kind of couch. And they're like scratching their beard. They just go,
you know what?
people that like Mega Man are gay. And they just put it out there and it's like, no, I'm not. And they start throwing up this shit. It's like,
I like pussy.
This
but how
does not matter. Right?
Right.
Hold on. I'm pulling up his Twitter.
It's a totally pointless debate and everyone's fucking talking about it. And the answer is there is no answer because nobody gives two shits.
And you know what the nuts thing about this whole thing is? I knew about the quote. I had no fucking idea who this person was. Like, I heard this. So,
What's his Twitter called?
Mike_Matei, Matei.
Yeah, someone took the original.
Oh, okay.
And they're talking shit about him.
But yeah, how often is this cat tweeting? Because he may have just been like, this may be his 100th tweet today, and then this the one that finally struck gold.
Dude, it's freaking genius. Oh my god. Here's his newest one. He has a poll. It says, which would you rather have? 26% is more Star Wars, 17% is more Ghostbusters, but 57% knife and own ass. I can agree with that.
What?
He's saying he'd rather have a knife in his own ass than get more Ghostbusters or Star Wars.
No, I heard him. I was just like, what?
Well, okay, so this guy, and he
this guy
retweeted this. So maybe this is giving an idea of perspective. This guy said, I retweeted because I agree to Mike Matei's tweet.
Yeah.
Hardcore gamers are still a thing. I know that video gaming has many demographics, but loves commas. As hardcore gamers, some of us play for the challenge we crave. Using modern features that circumvent the challenge is cheating.
And again, who gives two shits what scientific phenomenon has to say about using save states in video games? It's like, none of this shit matters.
Yeah. Oh, who honestly cares that you didn't beat that Nintendo game I beat years ago like I did? Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Jontron also chimes in.
Oh, God. Is he out of the doghouse?
Yeah, he's been for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Now, Pro Jared, on the other hand,
he's got some work to do.
Got some work to do. Get to climbing. I 100% agree on this, and I don't understand why people consider, why it's considered. I got cracks on my phone. So.
Right.
Some hot take. People just hide behind arguments like "let people play how they want" to excuse mediocrity. There has to be some standard, even if today's game design is considered archaic by today's standards. That is, I think, what I'm against entirely.
I mean, I agree with him.
I don't.
But at the same time, there's no big ledger.
He goes, people hide behind arguments like just play how they want to. That's not really a bad argument. If it's in there, you can use it. If it's not in there, then obviously you can't use it. But he goes to
cheats, though?
He goes to excuse mediocrity. Are you serious? So you're a mediocre gamer?
What if you had a cheat that said skip the level? Which there are cheats in some games.
There are cheats that do that.
So what if you did that?
Too.
I'd say if you're playing the first Crash Bandicoot and it's at ladder level or that bridge level, I'd say do it because that level fucking sucks.
Yeah, but you're a mediocre player.
If it's in the game, you're pretty much sacrificing your own. Well, maybe not sacrificing your own enjoyment because everyone's enjoyment is different. If I'm using it to skip the level because it fucking sucks, then I'm using it to skip the level. If I'm using it to skip the level, even though it fucking rocks, and I'm using it to skip the level. It's put in the game.
But if I find out that you fucking did that, I can call you out on it.
But why would you? Why would you be that elitist? Why? Why would you call him out on that?
I think that's hilarious that someone would be like, I'm going to call you out for using a cheat code.
I would laugh at the person calling him out.
Like, that's the world. That's how they're tweeting.
Right. That's the whole point of it.
That's the problem. Is like, more Jontron than it is Mike at this point, because Mike's like, I'm not telling you how to play your game or whatever the case is.
Dude, Mike's just having fucking fun. John is like analyzing it like it's his thesis for college.
Well, he's like, I am right.
Yes.
Let me see
That's
who else.
the only way is to play it without save state. It's like nobody gives a fuck. Well, everyone does, but nobody should. That's kind of the thing, I think.
The other guy below him, baby boo boo bitch, says, I love you, John, but I disagree. Video games are entertainment, and gatekeeping people from having fun playing a game that and taking away a personal victory for someone isn't really in my best interest. I think that's overanalyzing too.
They're all overanalyzing it.
My last word in this: I'm not anti-accessibility. I'm not gatekeeping fun. I'm simply saying a design feature should not be included in lieu of good game design. If I play a game, you have to skip to enjoy. I love the hell out of Final Fantasy VIII, but I can't tell you how fucking boring it is until you get to like pretty much the Fisherman's Horizon, and you start doing more cool shit.
Dude, listen to Liquid on Liquid. Listen to him on Twitter. He says to Mike Matei, "Damn straight, that feature is a curse. I will never show my kids that feature."
What? But okay. But you know why he wouldn't show his kid that feature?
He wants him to earn it.
No, not even that, really. He would probably want him to play the game like he played it. I would understand that completely. I may be just pulling overanalyzing what he's saying. He may literally just mean it's a curse. But if I had a game, let's go with Dark Souls, and 20 years later they put a save state, I would tell him, no, don't do save states, kid, son, daughter, whoever. Play the game like I played it, because I want you to play it the way I want you to know just how hard it is my way.
But why do that?
Because I just want them to experience the way I experienced.
Why make some kid play some shitty ass game that came out 20 years ago, 20, 30 years ago?
No, I would never do that. I would never be like, "Hey, son, play it." Like,
Son,
I'd be like,
I know
if he's
really,
like,
I know Breath of the Wild is pretty damn good, but you ain't playing it until you beat the original Zelda without save states. I'm like, fuck you, you old piece of shit. That game is trash. Zelda is fucking trash. Like the NES version. You ever played that shit?
yes,
The first one?
Yeah.
Or Zelda 2?
Fuck Zelda 2.
Fuck Zelda
Of course that game's trash. But the original Zelda, like by any modern like understanding of how to make a game, that game's garbage.
That's a very good point, which is actually elucidated here. This guy goes, the rewind feature makes those old games tolerable.
Yeah.
He goes, Battletoads is unplayable. So it's not controlling good game design. It's sometimes making a part of the game that as a kid was completely inaccessible. And as an adult, spending like 20, 30 hours, I would rather play Death Stranding than play fucking Battletoads.
I would rather play the worst game made today than Battletoads and get stuck on the stupid race level and have to restart the fucking game.
Exactly. I would, or play two players and end up losing a friendship because of how angry.
Because they lost your lives, and then you lose them on your turn anyway. So
this guy, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say. So that argument, did you beat it or didn't you? Who fucking cares? You just played it, and you can call him out if you want, but nobody gives a shit. Like, it's so beyond like an argument. But that's the genius of that tweet. It's funny to me. That's it, though.
True.
Just love it for him trolling, man. He did it. He did it really well.
This guy goes, if we're all winners, no one is.
What?
Okay, I get
what? No, I don't. I mean, yeah, but not when video game sense.
I mean,
the fuck does that even mean?
But that's sort of going back to that whole tie-in about like
I get it,
exclusivity, whatever. In a traditional sense, yes, it's if everyone won the race, then everyone won the race. But in the sense of gaming, it's not a. If I'm playing Ninja Gaiden, Ninja Gaiden Black, right? I beat Ninja Gaiden Black on Master Ninja, which at the time is a throw your controllers, break everything, like kind of game, right? If I beat that and then someone else played it with save states on at that point and then beat it, do I and they're modified, like this person did them themselves, it's like an emulator or whatever the case is, and they beat it on the hardest difficulty too, and they're like, hey man, I beat it too, and they're like, how'd you beat it? I beat it on my computer, I was using the emulator or whatever, doing save states. Don't really agree with it, but that's okay. Like, even if I disagree with it, am I gonna freaking like give me your man card right now, bro?
Right. This is exactly why I would.
But that's what makes it fun.
This is why I would never be on Twitter, because if I saw that if everyone's a winner but no one's a winner and it's regarding video games, I would be like, you're a fucking idiot. like just straight up.
Some of the guys are idiots on here, including John. I mean, if I'm being
Because
honest,
it's like it's
Look at him
not
with his
like you
stupid
said.
hat.
It's not a competition. It's entertainment. You
It's a hobby.
pay your money. It's a hobby. Yeah,
And
you
play it
pay
the way
your
you
money. You play. Yeah, you play it the way you want. The only reason I made that statement of I would want my son or daughter to play the game the way I played it, it's just simply because I'd be like, I want to just see how you do. And then if you're like, hey, I can't do it like this, I'm not gonna be like, bitch, man up and play the game. Like, you're not using save states. I'm like, all right, son, daughter, go ahead, you save states. You try your best. That's cool.
You failed me.
No, I wouldn't be. I'd be like, okay.
Your mother.
I would just kind of be a little proud of like, yeah, see, it was hard, but I would be like, oh, son, you're nothing compared to me. I'm a better gamer than you, son.
If you really break down the tweet at the end of the day, all we're doing is arguing about a competition about who has more fun.
Yeah.
What kind of measurement can you use on that?
It's so trolly. It's
At
wonderful.
any capacity.
Yeah,
I think I'm just gonna read the comments the rest of the night. Like, seriously. Can't tell you how many people are literally going like, that's the only way to play the game. It's just like, excuse me? Like, some of these games, Ninja Gaiden included, are pretty shitty. Like, not Ninja Gaiden Black, but, the Ninja Gaidens that were on the NES.
by today's standards.
They're
yeah.
garbage, yeah. Like,
back then, that's all they had. But
that's all they had. So there was a difference
Yeah,
between, then and now. So you'd be like, oh, I spent 40 hours playing Ninja Gaiden. That's because you have no friends, and definitely didn't have any bills back then. Probably didn't even have a job.
You know when some chick is like, oh, I play video games too. And you're like, what do you play? Like, well, I play Mario on like the Nintendo. It's like, you haven't played a fucking game in, 30 years. Games are so much better than that shit. Like,
Yeah.
that I get that it's iconic, but it's shit.
No,
Like,
okay.
Comparatively to now,
He's not wrong.
But what if they're playing the game over and over? What if they're speed run? What if they're just liking that one game over and over?
Shelly from HR is a speed runner for
No.
Mario.
Okay, what if they like this game over and over again? Because I knew a couple who I don't really like modern games. I can only play the old school. So me and my significant other play old school games because they just like it. I don't know. I didn't like
because they're lazy and they have every right to be lazy, but they're lazy. And okay, you like modern games, but there's so much better if you just try.
That's like the weirdest thing too. Like, I would love to see the look on someone's face. Like, oh, I only played, Mario, like the first Mario, and then I go, all right, well, here's Mario Odyssey,
Ori and the Blind Forest. So fucking blow your tits off.
or something like that. Like, oh, I only played the first Metroid or whatever the case. Well, let me show you Metroid Prime. Even Metroid Prime,
Right.
Like,
Right.
you're gonna enjoy this. Holy shit, Ori and the Blind
guns
Forest.
have games in them.
There's so many other things. Like,
That's like saying, man, you see Casablanca? I watch that movie 50 times a week. It's so great. Haven't seen any of the new stuff, but Casablanca is so good. It's like, no, it's not. It's fucking shit. Like, just try something new.
I love Married with Children. It's so fucking great. Well, I mean, have you seen Seinfeld? There's all kinds of shit. Even, even One Step Up is better than...
Right.
And just imagine the possibilities. Someone's limiting themselves on a medium that's like that.
And it's okay. Like, if you're not a gamer, whatever, I don't care. But if you want to actually talk about it, like, if you're trying to step up to me and be like, I'm telling you that Mario NES, man, when you hit the rails, when you pull that flag down, oh boy, really?
They had it right the first time.
Yeah.
Spencer, who's going up to you and coming up to you like,
Dude.
you know what? I'm the biggest gamer there is, and I want to tell you the world that I want to tell you all about Mario, brother.
People do that. People do that.
Get some new friends.
Who was it? My boss, for one, but not really confrontational. There was a guy that I was in the military with. His name was Tarky, who he outranked me. He was my boss, but would be like, yeah, man, because he knows I play games and stuff. He's like, oh man, we got on Call of Duty, man. You can't be stopped, can't be controlled. And I'm just like, okay, sure. It's like, oh, what else do you play? Oh, I only play Call of Duty. And I'm just like, okay, man, that's great. Have you played this game, that game, whatever the case is? He's like, no, those games are stupid. Like, well, you don't know. Like, you haven't experienced any of that stuff. It's just like I could have went on a tangent with him, but I was just like, you're limiting your own perception of a medium that you clearly have a form of interest in. Who does that? Who goes, I love films, but I'm never, ever, ever going to watch, movies from 2019 or 2018. Why?
Yeah.
Some good shit there.
It exists in video games, but it doesn't exist anywhere else. Maybe music. Maybe music, but movies, no. Like, there's nothing that really does that with movies.
I find it hard that you can't like music in a certain era. 10 years of music.
Yeah, there's something
thrown at you. There's something in there. You got to dig, but that's what makes the journey makes it all much more enjoyable.
I actually do have some with film. I have a hard time watching sequels to movies unless someone unless people really recommend it, because most of the time,
though. Usually it's a fucking letdown.
Right, that's what I mean.
John Wick was good.
Yeah, but I mean, but that's the thing.
That's like saying the sequel to a porno is good. It's like
it is. You're
getting gun, boom, 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 boom. It's like, okay, just more of that. Okay,
not entirely.
So I'm gonna keep it real with you, G. Sequels to porno are fucking magical.
Backyard Sluts 3?
Yeah.
Oh god,
nothing lost my.
It's better in every way than 2.
Lost my nut.
All right, we have to close this out. This is the longest podcast ever. But thanks for joining, everybody.
Yeah. Don't send death threats to us because we disagree with Mike Matei.
I agree and disagree at the exact same time. It's just the biggest troll.
I think I'm more of a disagreeing because now it's sparked all this dialogue that you're saying is supposed to be healthy, but we've gone through a couple of those. People aren't really getting it, and I get it now with talking to you, so I appreciate that.
All right, guys, take it easy.
Bye.
Yeah, later.
See you in the future.